Hi friends, welcome to Sagrada Familia, a church under construction in Barcelona, Spain for well over a century, that is since March 19, 1882 to be precise. It is the largest unfinished Catholic church in the world. Designed by the Catalan architect Antoni Gaudí, his work on Sagrada Familia is part of a UNESCO World Heritage Site. On 7th November 2010, Pope Benedict XVI consecrated the church and proclaimed it a minor basilica.
In the same position of the temple. So we are in front of this facade that is not there. It's not finished. Then the part that we saw, already finished, that is today the entrance, now you will see that side, is the part that was made by Gaudí, that facade. And the other side is also finished. And the back of the church is also finished, but not the front. So, the beginnings of the works was from here. Gaudí made this facade. Almost the entire facade was made during his lifetime. He couldn't finish because there was an accident and he died. Later I will explain to you that. So this is the Nativity facade. He wanted to create like a Bible in stone, so this is the birth of Jesus. Then on the other side, the Passion facade showing us the death of Jesus. And the main one that is missing is going to be the main entrance, the real entrance when it's all finished, the Glory facade, the most striking, showing us the path to the glory, to heaven. So as you can notice, in every facade there are 4 bell towers, 4, 4 and 4, that makes 12. You know why 12, maybe? No?
12 apostles.
Perfect. The 12 apostles. So every bell tower is dedicated the same. Every bell tower is dedicated to one of the apostles. But when it's finished, there will be not just 12, there will be 18 towers. So let me go to the back. From here I can show you the rest of the minions. Very symbolic. At the back, this tower is Mary's tower in honor of Jesus' mother, with the star on top. And then that was finished December 2021, less than 2 years ago. Then these two, that is the bull and the lion, the symbols of Luke and Mark, the 2 of the evangelists. So those were finished last December, less than 1 year ago. And then these 2 were finished last week. So very new. With the eagle on top is John's tower. With the angel on top is the symbol of Matthew. So the 4 evangelists, those that wrote the Gospels, Jesus' life. And then the tallest, that is not finished, is half built, not even half, is going to be the tallest in honor of Jesus. When that tower is finished, the church will be the tallest church in the world. So the tallest. It's limestone. Limestone that they took, at least this facade, they took it from the quarry that was in Montjuic, in the hill where we have been. From the Roman times, they opened the first quarries there, and they built the entire old town and some important buildings with that local stone, limestone. Outside, you will see all limestone, and on top you will see colors that is made with Murano glass from Venice. No, not the front, not yet, because they are working in the towers now. They were still building, yeah. So the last towers that we saw finished were those finished late in the 80s. Suddenly, in less than 2 years, they finished 5. Just for you to notice that they are working very fast now, because there is a lot of money now. With so many visitors, they can work. The lack of money was a big issue in the past. Okay, now is the time to go. Later you will have time.
The Sagrada Familia, that is the Holy Family, consisting of Saint Joseph, Mother Mary, and Jesus Christ, is one of a kind temple for its origins, foundation, and purpose. Fruit of the work of genius architect Antoni Gaudí, the project was promoted by the people and for the people. 5 generations now have watched the temple construction in progress. Today, more than 140 years after the laying of the cornerstone, construction still continues on the basilica. On 19th March 1882, construction of the Sagrada Familia began under architect Francisco de Villar. In 1883, when Villar resigned, Gaudí took over as chief architect transforming the project with his architectural and engineering style, combining Gothic and curvilinear Art Nouveau forms. Gaudi devoted the remainder of his life to this project, and he is buried in the church's crypt. At the time of his death in 1926, less than a quarter of the project was complete. Relying solely on private donations, the Sagrada Familia construction progressed slowly and was interrupted by the Spanish Civil War. In July 1936, anarchists set fire to the crypt and broke their way into the workshop, partially destroying Gaudi's original plans. Construction resumed to intermittent progress in the 1950s, and construction passed the midpoint only in 2010. It was anticipated that the building would be completed by 2026, the centenary of Gaudi's death, but this has now been delayed due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Some aspects of it may be complete only by 2040. Describing the Sagrada Familia, art critic Rainer Zerbst said, "It is probably impossible to find a church building anything like it in the entire history of art." The Sagrada Familia was inspired by a bookseller, Jose Maria Boccabella, founder of Spiritual Association of Devotees of Saint Joseph. After a visit to the Vatican in 1872, Boccabella returned from Italy with the intention of building a church inspired by the Basilica at Loreto. The apse crypt of the church, funded by donations, was begun on 19th March in 1882 on the Festival of Saint Joseph to the design of the architect Francisco de Villar. The apse crypt was completed before Villar's resignation on 18th March 1883, when Antoni Gaudi assumed responsibility for its design, which he changed radically. Gaudi began work on the church in 1883, but was not appointed architect director until 1884. Gaudi's original design calls for a total of 18 spires, representing in ascending order of height the 12 apostles, the Virgin Mary, the 4 evangelists, and tallest of all, Jesus Christ. 13 spires have been completed as of 2023, corresponding to 4 apostles at the Nativity facade, 4 apostles at the Passion facade, 4 evangelists, and the Virgin Mary. The evangelist spires are surmounted by sculptures of their traditional symbols: a winged bull representing Saint Luke, a winged man representing Saint Matthew, an eagle representing Saint John, and a winged lion representing Saint Mark. The central spire of Jesus Christ is to be surmounted by a giant cross. Its total height 172.5 meters or 565.9 feet will be less than that of Montjuic Hill in Barcelona, as Gaudi believed that his creation should not surpass God's. Give us our daily bread in 50 different languages, including Sanskrit. Asmakam ayojaniyam aharam adya dehi. Give us this day our daily bread. Matthew chapter 6, verse 11. The Nativity facade was built before work was interrupted in 1935 and bears the most direct Gaudi influence. The Passion facade was built according to the design that Gaudi created in 1917. The construction began in 1954, and the steeples built over the elliptical plan were finished in 1976. It is especially striking for its spare, gaunt, tormented characters, including emaciated figures of Christ being scourged at the pillar and Christ on the cross. These controversial designs are the work of Joseph Maria Subirax. The Glory facade, on which construction began in 2002, will be the largest and most monumental of the three and will represent one's ascension to God. It will also depict various scenes such as hell, purgatory, and will include elements such as the 7 deadly sins and 7 heavenly virtues. The 7 deadly sins are greed, lust, pride, gluttony, sloth, wrath, and envy. The 7 heavenly virtues are kindness, diligence, patience, charity, temperance, humility, and chastity. Gaudi used light to bring out the splendor and expressiveness of his architecture. Rays of light make the pinnacles that top the towers and windows shine. The sun in the east illuminates the portals on the nativity facade and accentuates the joy of life that is the birth of Jesus. On the passion facade, the contrasting light and shadows from the setting sun makes it feel even coarser and harsher, while on the glory facade, the midday sun will make the 16 lanterns on the monumental narthex shine and illuminate the main entrance to the basilica. Light not only shines into the Sagrada Familia through windows on the walls, but also through skylights in the vaults. And the purpose of this light shining harmoniously into the interior of the temple is none other than to convey the presence of God. Gaudi defended the theory that a properly inclined column is more stable than a vertical one. So, in the naves, he designed a structure of inclined columns that, based on the double twist column, create a space reminiscent of a forest, and that, given its characteristics, encourages introspection and prayer. In the final phase of his career, Gaudi opted to design and build with a combination of geometric shapes. He did so on the pinnacles for the nativity facade and in the project for the walls inside the temple and other parts using the combining curved ruled surfaces. This way, he created a lifelike overall character and expression in line with his architecture. Inside the temple, color is found not only in the stained glass windows but also in the building materials themselves. Gaudi said that color is an expression of life, and that is why he wanted it to be a big part of the Sagrada Familia. Firm believer in the importance of color, which is ever present in nature, Gaudi made his temple very colorful, and he did so beyond just the stained glass windows, which he designed in a wholly unconventional manner.
So it's like the shape of the letter H but on the bottom. So we start from there, that is the Basabra. You follow to the other side, to the middle, to the top, like the letter S. This is the order of the seat. Starting from here, in the last chapter, over there. Then you can also see there, this is Jesus Christ, the object, right there. There is a snake on the wall with my symbol, right there. The first and the last letters in the Greek alphabet, meaning the beginning and the end. Then at the entrance also, you can see the flagellation of Jesus Christ when he was put in front of the people of Jerusalem and he was whipped. So this is the moment right there next to the letters. Then we go more to the right. You can see that person that looks to be ashamed on the right, that this is St. Peter, the one that denied 3 times the name of Jesus. No, I don't know him, because he was scared. So after that, he felt ashamed, and this is the moment. Then we go to the group of people that is right in the middle, where you can see in the center, you can see the second fall of Jesus with the heavy cross. Then the woman in the middle that tried to help, and she washed Jesus' face with a cloth. He was bleeding and suffering. With his own blood, his face was like printed in that cloth. So this is why she has no face. She was anonymous. The important face is Jesus' face that she is showing to us, that miracle. Then we go more to the left. You can see Longinus, the Roman soldier that pierced on Jesus' side just to check if he was already dead. On top of Longinus, you can see the Roman soldiers gambling to win Jesus' dress, because they put a beautiful dress on him and they were gambling for that. Then on top you can see Jesus dying on the cross. It's right the moment of his death. We know that because the head is already looking down and there is a skull at the bottom that is a symbol of death. And then next, to the right, the last scene, on the right on top is the burial of Jesus Christ. But obviously Subirats didn't want to finish the story by showing a dead Jesus, so you follow. Okay, from here, from here you can see the only part that is no limestone is the part that has a different color, made with a stone again, but this is granite. It says Jesus Nazarenus Rex Judero. That means Jesus from Nazareth, the King of the Jews. With the Romans put on top of the cross, laughing at him, actually. That was kind of joke. Look to your king, he's lying on the cross. And then higher than the cross, that is, can you see it? So this is representing Jesus Christ, again alive, back to heaven, looking at us from heaven, representing Jesus Christ after the resurrection. It's a symbol of hope, like death is not here. There is something else. So this is the last part of this story. And then also from here you can see part of the decoration that is there. You can see 2 rows of fruits. At the lowest level, again made with Murano glass, there are different Mediterranean fruits representing the 4 seasons: spring, summer, fall, and winter. On top you can see grapes to make wine as a symbol of Jesus' blood, wheat to make bread as a symbol of Jesus' body. So it's very, very symbolic.
Antoni Gaudí was born on 25th June 1852 in Reus, then the second largest city in Catalonia. He went to primary school at Escol Pais, where he excelled in geometry and arithmetic and received a traditional religious education in the humanities. The son of a potsmith, he began learning the trade of his father's workshop in 1860. Antoni Gaudí, one of the most universal figures of Catalan culture and international architecture, devoted more than 40 years to the temple of the Sagrada Familia. His originality, creativity, and ability to innovate have made Gaudí a universal figure in architecture. In fact, his work is known worldwide, and his legacy, despite the passing of time, is more alive than ever. Gaudí took over the Sagrada Familia project when he was just 31 years old and spent the last 12 years of his life completely devoted to his great vocation, serving God through architecture. Gaudí was run over by a tram, and Gaudí breathed his last 3 days later on June 10, 1926, at Hospital de Santa Creu in Barcelona. On Saturday, 12th June, his funeral procession crossed the city with his coffin towards the temple of Sagrada Familia. There he was interred in the chapel of Our Lady of Carmel in the crypt. A huge crowd joined the procession in their final farewell to the architect, a show of the city's grieving. Well, the question that keeps haunting me is that why God made Gaudí die such a tragic death in spite of his 43 years of dedicated service to his cause. The only answer the devout people can get is, His will be done. This leaves me still puzzled and will remain so as other similar questions like, why good people suffer most in life while the evildoers continue to enjoy all worldly pleasures? Is suffering a virtue? If it is His will, who am I to question Him?
में तुम ऑपरेट
Me encantaría matar esta canción. Tú siempre me respondes, quizás, quizás, quizás. Y así pasan los días y yo desesperando y yo, tú contestando, perhaps, perhaps, perhaps. Estás perdiendo el tiempo pensando, pensando, por lo que más